All right, I'm going to go ahead and slow that process down, where I basically just put a ring around that with just a live boolean. So you're going to see through here, if I go ahead and turn this one off, this is just a mesh through here. So if I alt tap this mesh right here, this is from an insert curve brush here, and then it's being subtracted using live booleans from my other mesh here just to give a nice cut seam line. And I can also go through here and I can modify it because it's live. So if I need to go through and move this line around or smooth it out or go and continue modeling on that geometry, I can continue to do so. So just it's a kind of a way to control your curves. In fact, if you go to my ArtStation page, the ZBrush Summit tutorial demo, I have a bunch of videos in here about controlling curves is one of the things I went over, and just even on my YouTube channel, you type in controlling curves, you'll find some more information on that. But so using pre-existing geometry, I went ahead and duplicated the back of this head off. So what I can do is, what you basically need is a ring around something. So if you want it to follow a path, one of the things you can do is you can simply just slice through an object, and that'll provide a sliced path. And this will be a very, very nice, precise path. So I could put a curve, I could frame a curve, I'll turn off line here, and make this a little more obvious. I could frame a curve right along that sliced path and, Boolean out something around there. You can also just use pieces of geometry. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to hold down Control. Let's go to the top here and hold down Control. And let's just grab Mask Lasso. And I'm going to grab just a piece of this mesh all the way down through here. Control Alt. So basically what I'm doing is I'm giving myself some geometry to work along. And in this case, I really don't care about this outside edge, but I can use ZRemesher to clean this up a little bit. So let's make this a little easier on ourselves. Go to Geometry, Edge Loop Mask Border, Control Drag, Control Shift Tap this piece here. Go ahead and say Delete Hidden. And I don't need all this geometry on the bottom, so what I'm going to do is do an Auto Groups, isolate this one over here, do another Delete Hidden. Anything I do on this side I can duplicate to the other side, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off X Symmetry. I'm going to go ahead and simplify this geometry as well. I want my line to kind of follow along this path right here. So I can go through here and I can say, you know what, let me just slice right across here, isolate this side of the polygroup, delete hidden, geometry modify topology, delete hidden. And now if I want to make this easier to work with, I can go through here and I can say maybe ZRemesh, target a polygon count of maybe 2000, depth size down to 0, just get some nice even quads, and just keep hitting half. And if you ever wanted to pull out to a corner, go into there with your Move Acu, and you can just pull this out to a corner, and that'll actually help ZRemesher maintain some harder corners there. And then again, we'll just ZRemesh half. And that'll give you just a nice even path. Now you didn't have to do it to like a lower res geometry or anything. You could just go through and slice it, but if you wanted a little bit easier to work with, for example, if you want to just kind of move these points along here and have it say, okay, I'm going to follow here and I want it to go, this needs to go up a little bit. And then this will go through here and then kind of stop. Then I can do a quick projectile to go ahead and snap those verts back. And now I've got two edges here, so I'm going to go hover over this edge with my ZModeler brush BZM, and then do a polygroup polyloop. And then as long as these are separate polygroups here, you can go through here and you can stroke under curve functions, go in here to polygroups, and then frame your mesh. And then if you need to, you just need to pass something through here, and any insert mesh brush will do. But in order to control that a little bit, let's go out of edit mode, say always switch, hit Control N. Let's go over here to our Polymesh 3D, go into edit mode, go down here to our initialize Q cube, and we'll turn on X to go across X symmetry here. And we're going to pull this point down, give it a little bit of a chiseled bottom there. So what we're going to do is we're going to say bevel edge loop complete, and then hold down Control Alt and unmask this bottom section here, and go ahead and just pull that down. And then from the top here, let's go ahead and say bevel edge loop complete. So you have 3 equal levels, and I hold down Control Shift and go into Select Rectangle, and hit Control W on that top one, Control W on that bottom one. We want 3 fairly equal pieces there. And then from this angle, with the 3 pieces going up, hit B, create Insert Mesh New, and now you have an Insert Mesh brush that's just going to draw out from the angle you drew it. And then we're going to go up here to Stroke, Curve, turn on Curve Mode. And then now it's going to be a curve brush, and you're going to see we need to weld these points together. So under Brush Modifiers, turn on Weld Points, and then now when you use this curve, it'll go ahead and give you something that's going to kind of go into your mesh. Now what might make it a little bit easier is before you go ahead and use this, let's undo that, is let's go ahead and run a crease tolerance, so geometry, crease. And if that doesn't do all these lines, you can just go through here and say crease, edge loop, partial, and just go ahead and crease these here, and then hit D for dynamic, and that'll give you a preview of that dynamic mesh. That looks fine. So again, from the top here, and you can just you can append this to your previous brush. If you hit B, grab that insert mesh brush, and then again hit B, create insert mesh, append, say skip, and then stroke. Curve mode will be turned on automatically, but you do need to turn on weld points. And this triparts brush turned on is going to allow this 1, 2, 3 part brush to go through and behave how you would expect. And now this time, you're going to see you get the creasing already enabled. So let's go back to our mesh here, and we can just pass this right along our mesh here. You're going to want to make it, whatever size is appropriate. So let's say 3, and we want to push this into our mesh. We're going to go up here to depth and say that embed is going to be 0. And that'll kind of embed it in there. You can embed it further if you want to. In fact, you can do a quick visibility hide point and then invert that. And that's under the visibility menu hide point. And then if you again, we'll just shoot this down to the bottom here and make that subtractive and then turn on live boolean. And you can see the overall effect that you're going to get is just a nice clean line through this object. Now, if you want to smooth this out even more, you can hit the 6 key, and that's underneath the stroke menu. Here you see there's snapshot as hotkey is 5, smooth is hotkey of 6, and let's go back before we hit that here, and let's try that again. And then now if we hit the, like I said, the 6 key, it'll go ahead and update that to a smoother mesh. So if you're happy with this and the line you're going to cut in, you can just tap off that line. If you're not able to tap off of it, just go in here and say curve functions delete, and then I'm going to do another hide point, control shift drag, and then geometry modified topology delete hidden. And then again with this as subtractive, you can go through here and you can make slight modifications to this line. You can just kind of use your move brush to kind of go through and modify this line. Like I mentioned before, you can continue modeling with this. If you go into solo mode here, you can maybe go through here and you can say, you know what, let me give polygroup polyloop. I'm going to go ahead and make all of these same polygroup, and you know what, let's take all of these ones here. I guess we could just do it for all of them. We'll go ahead and have these polygroups marked. We'll go QMesh polygroup all. Let's go ahead and QMesh those out. And now you're going to see we're going to get a deeper divot along here. You can also go ahead and hit D for dynamic subdivisions on there. And of course at this point you can do a Dynamesh mesh, and if we want to do it the same on both sides, we simply have to go mirror, mirror and weld, hit X to go across X symmetry. And that's just a way to kind of control and insert curve brush using other meshes.